Hello, hello, and welcome back to the art room for another fabulous day of art. All right, today this project is going to be for my fourth grade friends. All right, we're going to do a cool art activity where we're going to exercise our fashion design skills here. Okay, our brand design, everyone. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about artists and artists contributing to society. So artists do many different kinds of jobs. I think a lot of times we get stuck in the mindset that an artist is just a person who paints a pretty picture and maybe the picture gets hung in a museum or it gets sold for a lot of money. Yes, that is one thing that artists do, but there are different career paths for artists. So you could be somebody who, as an artist, designs and makes buildings for a living. You could be somebody who designs logos for like businesses. That's another thing. You could do website design. That's what a lot of graphic designers do, right? You can also be a designer for a brand. So we're going to talk about that. So the people who design the different beautiful and they really are works of art designs for shoes like Nike or different types of sneakers, right? Those are artists. All right, so we're going to be talking about brand design today. We're going to create our own brand. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to actually make your own little, this is going to be like your catalog for your brand. All right, and we're going to make our own brand of clothing, merchandise, products, okay? And you might be familiar with this. I usually compare this to, my students are usually pretty familiar with YouTube, which is why we're on YouTube right now. You're pretty familiar with it, right? Because I was like, how can I reach my students in something that they already know? This format is something you already know, right? So for YouTube, a lot of you guys out there already know that YouTubers even have their own merchandise, right? They usually have their own shops that you can like buy stuff that has like stuff, their brand logo on and things like that. Right, so today we're going to pretend that we have our own brand. You could be, maybe you pretend that you're a famous YouTuber with your own brand, so you're making your own like products. You could pretend that you're making products for somebody else. So maybe I've had students in the past pick a famous YouTuber that they love and then they design merchandise for them. Or you could be somebody who is maybe you made your money a different way. Maybe you're a famous singer, a famous celebrity, and you've made your own brand design. Maybe that's your dream and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a famous pop star someday, so I'm gonna need some awesome clothes, some merchandise. All right, so I'm gonna design that today. All right, so that's gonna be reflecting our design muscles here, right, a little bit. So normally what happens is I normally give you paper, pencil, and then I give you some tracers that you can use to kind of trace the outlines, just because I know sometimes people get really stuck in drawing the actual shapes of clothes, but since we're not all together in the same room, we can't do that as easily. So what you're going to do is you're going to use pencil and paper, and if you're at the school where they're giving out the kits, there should be a little sketchbook and a pencil in your little kit from me, all right, the same one that has these QR codes in it, all right? So make sure that you've got a pencil and paper for this. That's really all you need. If you have anything, you notice that I colored mine in. If you have anything at home to color in with, use that. So if you have pencils or colored pencils or crayons or markers or paint, any of those things, if you have any of that, you can use any of those things. If you don't have anything, just use your pencil and draw it out, because even something sketched out in black and white, it can be very beautiful, okay? It's important for us to practice these things. So since we don't have tracers, I'm actually going to show you on the board how to do the outline of a lot of these simple, I'm going to do some basic simple outlines of clothes, and then you're going to take it from there and kind of build onto it and add all the extra fancy things that make it more personal to you, right? Because that's the fun part, where you get to personalize it and add all the stuff that you're like, oh, I want to add some of this. I'm going to add some fringe over here. I'm going to add some beads over here. Maybe I add some sequins. I know that it's, have you ever seen those shirts where like it's sequins and then if you like swipe it, the picture changes, like those are also really fun. But it's really up to you. It's all those little extra things that we add that make this catalog of merchandise look really interesting, okay? I will say that let's say that you've chosen to do, you're going to do merchandise for somebody else. You're going to do it for a different famous person. We're not pretending if you've chosen not to pretend to be the famous person, which, like I said, I highly recommend if you want to pretend to be the famous person yourself and make your own merchandise. But maybe you're like, oh, you know what? I want to make merchandise for so-and-so instead. If you're going to use their logo, you have to change it in some way. So let's say you wanted to make merchandise line for a famous YouTuber, you could look at their logo, but you have to change it and make it in some way different and make it like add stuff to it, make it your own, really, just for copyright reasons. So make sure you change it in some way, but you can still make, maybe they've come to you and pretend that YouTuber came to you and said, oh, you know what, I really want to change my logo. Can you update it, make it look different for me, and like give me something cool that you'd want to add to it, right? So definitely do that. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, my whiteboard is going to be my piece of paper, so just pretend that the whiteboard is my paper. All right, and we're going to go ahead and get rocking and rolling because I know you're ready to go. All right, the first thing to do is to create the logo, right, for your brand. All right, so I actually do a very generic one right here where I just draw a circle with a star in it. I say your brand here, get it? So that's kind of like you got to name your brand. You got to decide what the logo is going to look like. So you're going to look at it and say, all right, well, who am I designing this for? Is it for me? Is it for somebody else? What are they famous for? Are they famous for music? Are they famous for doing funny videos? What things would make sense to put in this logo, right? So start by designing your logo. And I usually you don't have to do circles, because you could do, logos come in different styles, shapes. Sometimes logos are really just words. I've seen really cool logos where it's like words up here and then words up here and they create a circle, right? So it's really up to you how you want to do that. All right, so have a little bit of fun. Like I said, definitely use your pencil because you're going to want to erase and try again a couple times with your logo. But have some fun looking at, okay, like what kind of logo could I make? Are there words to this logo? Is it just a picture? But how can I show people? Because we know that logos, what they do is, a logo is something that when you see it, you automatically say, oh, I can connect in my brain that is connected to this. That's connected, that when I see that picture, I know it has to do with so-and-so, that famous celebrity or famous show or famous, whatever the person or group is famous for, all right? You can like put that together, right? So the logo is very important. So go ahead and design a logo. I'm just going to do something generic here. I'm going to call it O'Neill. All right, there we go. O'Neill. All right. Then after you've got your logo, so sort that out. Take more time on it than that. I'm just trying to, for the sake of time, so this video is not like 30 minutes long. I'm trying to speed things along here. But definitely take your time. Get it to something that you're like, oh, I really like that logo. I like that design. But play around with logos. This is usually the part where I would like walk around and we kind of talk a little bit about logos and kind of see, who's doing what, and talking about the different elements. I saw one once that was really cool where the student did fire and ice. So they had like half of the logo was like fiery and then half of it was icy. Just cool things like that. So there's a lot of different things that you can do for your logo. Go ahead, once you've sorted it out, once you've picked out what's going to be your logo for your brand design, right? What are people going to look at and be like, oh, that's so-and-so's brand. Yes. Right. Next, we're going to go ahead and start making some clothes. Okay. So around that logo design, right, that's where we're going to start actually putting some of the clothing items. Right. So I'm going to start by, if I wanted to do a jersey, this is what I would do. I'd do the letter U. Okay. Across, down, across, up, and like that. And what I always do is after I've done that, this is the part where you can make it look more like a jersey. Watch this. So I've done this shape. And then take your pencil and start up here and draw kind of like a U, because jerseys really do make that space for the arms like this. All right, that's kind of how they're cut. So you just make that kind of like U going in like that, and then you erase this part of the line. Boop. And you got a jersey, all right? You can add extra things, like you can add, here, let me get some different colors out so you can see the different lines that I'm doing here. You can draw like that line going around the neck, that line going around the arm, so cut out where the arms go, right? And maybe you want to add your logo to that. That's up to you. That's up to you. All right. Maybe you want to do shorts, okay? So first we're going to do like cargo shorts, for instance. So if I was doing shorts, any kind of short, you start by going across, down, across, up, down, across, up. all right? And you guys have probably practiced doing this before, right? So we're just going to go across, down, cross, up, down, cross, up. That takes practice. If you have something that's way too off, maybe the lines aren't adding up, just erase it and try it again. Get it until you've got something that you like. But this is the basic for shorts. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a drawstring right here. So I'm going to draw 2 bunny ears and then 2 lines down for like a little bow, like I tied it in a little bunny ear and a little bow there. That's a drawstring. I'm going to go ahead and add the lines for pockets. So those are 2 lines. They look kind of like the letter L and the letter L backwards. That looks like pockets. And then if I want cargo short pockets, watch this. All I got to do is, here, I'll use this one. If I draw a box on the side of the short, a box on the side of the short, and I draw a line up and a line up, I've got little cargo shorts. Right? There you go. So those are a fun way to do pockets. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind this, pause it, play as many times as you need to see it. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. This is just, I like to just go a little bit faster just because now that we're on video, you can kind of rewind and watch as many times as you need, or pause it whenever you need to kind of keep up. But I don't want the video to be way, way, way too long, right? All right, so next we're going to do, maybe you want to do jeans. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some jeans. Jeans are just, if I go across, down, so we're going to make these longer, across, up, down, across, up. Okay, same thing as the shorts, I just made them longer. I just made the legs a little longer. Okay, so that takes some practice. I'm going to go ahead and draw, I like to roll up. I don't know if you have ever done this with your jeans, but my jeans are always they always go way too long, so I roll up the bottom of them. That's called cuffing them, just to kind of, because I'm a little shorter than what they usually are made for. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line across, and then I draw a little dotted line going across for like jeans that have been cuffed. So I roll them up, right? Maybe I'm going to go ahead and do the pockets the same way I did the pockets over there, just the L, the backwards L, a zipper. So to keep the zipper kind of simple, I'm just going to draw 2 lines and then a line in the middle. Looks like a zipper. And then I can add a little like logo to that. It's up to you where you put the logo. I always get this question when we do this project. They say, so Neil, do I have to put the logo on everything? You don't have to. Not every celebrity will have, or brand will have their logo on absolutely every article of clothing. But on a lot of them, you might want to include it just so that it's kind of easy to tell, oh, this is my, that's my brand. And you can see on mine, like, because this is farther away, I didn't do all the same detail, so don't worry about if you did a lot of detail in your close-up of the logo. You don't have to do all of that detail on every single one. Just try to imitate it like you're looking from it farther away. So you don't have to do it exactly. If you have all these little letters in here, you wouldn't have to do that exactly in here. Just try to get the basic design of the logo in there. But it's up to you where you put your logos. All right, next. So we've got jeans. What if you want to draw just a simple t-shirt? Simple t-shirt, watch this, right? If we just do the letter U, out, down, across, up, out, across, up, right? Regular t-shirt design, okay? Maybe you want to add extra stuff, so maybe you want to add your logo, or maybe you want to add some like detail to it, maybe you want to add some fringe to it. Right? It really is up to you. So all those extra little details that you're adding, that's what gives it that flavor. That's what makes it like special to you. If you want to draw certain like designs on it, I once saw a really cool one where there were shorts that this student had put like flames on the bottom that were kind of coming up. That was like part of their design. Pretty cool. All right. So it's really kind of what comes out of your brain, right? Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw, what if you want a long sleeve shirt? Okay, so it's the same deal. I would draw the letter U. I go out. I would just make that longer. When I go out, I would just go a little bit longer than I did with the t-shirt. Down, cross, up, out. Remember that's long, and then up, right? So really, it really is just making those sleeves a little bit longer, okay? And then I usually like to add to that, to the long sleeve ones, I always like to add a little neck with the little lines. Like a sweater. There you go. All right, that's up to you. You could draw sweatpants. I know sweatpants are quite popular. I love me some sweatpants. All right, you go across, down. All right, so same thing as the jeans, but instead of doing like more denim kind of look, I would just give it drawstrings. So I drew the little bow with the 2 lines down. Maybe you want to add the logo, right? Maybe you want to add a little like up here, little rectangle to kind of really give it that waistband, right? For the drawstring for that part of the sweatpants, right? A skirt. I usually do a pencil skirt, which is pretty easy because, and I always have the kids always go, oh, when they see this, because I'm like, yeah, it's pretty simple. For one of those skirts, it's literally just a box. It's pretty easy peasy. For that kind of skirt, a lot of denim, like a lot of jean skirts are kind of like that. They're really just a box. All right, let's talk about hats. Okay, so if you want a baseball cap, easy peasy. Watch this, okay? I'm going to draw mine pretty big so that you can see it from there, but yours would be a little bit smaller. You can see on mine that I drew mine a little bit smaller so it looks more in proportion with the rest of them. But obviously, like I did close-ups on some things, like the shoes are not actually that huge. I just drew them a little bit closer, you know, just like you would see in like a catalog, you know, so you can actually see the details. It's really up to you. But this is how I would draw a baseball cap. Watch this. If I draw a line going around like this and then across like that kind of shape, okay? So start with that shape. It looks like a gumdrop. All right, and then this is the part that's going to be the brim of the hat that's coming out. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to go around and back up. All right, now it doesn't quite look like a baseball cap now because I haven't added all the details, right? So maybe I want to add my logo. Maybe I want to add 2 lines going up. Ooh, made a mistake there. 2 lines going up to the top with a little on top. Maybe I want to add those lines that kind of go around the brim of the hat. That's really up to you, all right? But go ahead and draw your baseball cap, all right, if you want to add a baseball cap. And students always ask me, too, do I have to do everything that's in this that you're showing me? No, these are just things, these are just suggestions that you could use. But you don't have to use all this. I usually just give you like a couple of tracers and I let you just kind of choose how many. I've had students do most of their brand design was just a tennis shoe, was like a sneaker line. That's totally fine. Some friends only did like dresses or, you know, so it's really up to you what your brand design is going to have in it. Okay, let's go ahead and draw the dresses. So if I want to do a dress, I'm going to draw the U. I'm going to go out, right? Make sure I'm looking at the right one. Down, out, down, and then back up. All right, and that's kind of like that long dress that I've got here, right? This long dress, right? And that one I just added details. So if you have like a belt on a dress, that'll give it like maybe the brand design is in the belt, going around it. But you can add all those details. Right? I even have one where it's got like the pleated skirt, almost like a cheerleader skirt is what I tell people, that has those little pleats in it. You could draw those lines, right? But go ahead and draw your dress in that shape. All right, and I think all that leaves are the shoes. Okay, are you ready? We're going to draw some shoes together, okay? I know you've been excited for that. I'm going to go ahead and erase some of these so you have some room to see what I'm going to draw here. Boop. All right, so for the shoes, let's go ahead and start with a high heel, okay? So for a high heel, this is what I would do. All right, normally, like I said, normally I have like a little tracer, but I don't have that to give for you right now. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna watch me, you're gonna follow what I'm doing. If you don't like the one that you drew, erase it, try it again. You've got this. I believe in you, okay? So we're gonna start here. I'm gonna go across, down, right? And I'm kind of mimicking the shape of a, ooh, let's try that again. Mimicking the shape of the foot, because we know that when we're looking at the foot has this kind of angle right here, right? Right like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up here. Try that again. Across, down, and out. Down, back up. We're going to draw a little triangle right here. Across, and back up. Okay, and then you're gonna add all those extra things to it. So we've got this kind of it's okay if it looks a little cartoony. That's all right. All right, so we've got this little kind of shape for the shoe, for the high heel, and then that's where you add. That's the fun part where you get to add all the extra stuff. So maybe you want to add like lines across for the sole of the high heel, because we know, of course, that your shoe has this part to it. That's like the part that touches the ground. It's called the sole, right? So maybe you want to add that. Maybe you want to I add a little opening to mine, then I always like to, I'd love to have heels that have like a giant bow on them, because I think that would look really cute. Alright, that's up to you, but you don't have to, obviously this is not one of the ones that you have to have. I mean, honestly, you just pick from these options that I'm showing you what you're interested in. There you go. All right, maybe you want to put your brand down here on the heel. That'd be kind of funny. All right, next we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a sneaker, okay? So for the sneaker, watch carefully. This is going to be some shapes that I'm putting together, all right? So for the sneaker, again, that shape of that foot is kind of that L that's kind of going out. It's got this kind of whoop shape to it, all right? So we're going to start here, okay? And I'm going to actually start with the tongue of the sneaker. So we know that's that part with the laces on top, right? We're going to go out, up, and around, okay? We're going to go out, down, back, up, and like that. It's going to make this shape. It's going to look silly at first. This shape, I know it looks silly. I know it does, but it's okay. It's not done yet. Remember, some things in art we've started, but we haven't added all that flavor that makes it look like the thing that we're drawing, okay? So we just haven't added that flavor yet, all right? So right now we've got that tongue. It goes around, goes back up, and it makes this kind of sneaker like slash boot kind of look. All right, next we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw across the tongue. We're going to draw 2 lines going this way, 2 lines going that way, and kind of like an X, and then another one. 2 lines going this way, 2 lines going that way to kind of look like laces, right? Okay. We're also going to add right here a circle with the end of the shoelace coming down. A little box on the end. So that's the end of the shoelace. They're not tied right now. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add the sole of the shoe. Remember, that's the bottom part of the shoe. I'm going to go down here and draw a nice thin rectangle. And then I like to add a little texture, so I'm going to add to make it kind of look more like a boot. Right? I'm going to draw some lines down. There we go. And then this is the part where you get to add all those extras. So maybe you want to add your logo. Maybe you want to add like some funky design to it. Let's see, I'm going to use a different color for that. All right, but you get the idea. This is the part where you can really have fun with your design. Make something funky. Maybe I want to make like funky shapes on the end of it. Right? It's really up to you to kind of take this, like, where do I want to take this? What kind of funky things do I want to add to this to make it my own? So I hope you enjoy this project today. I can't wait to see them. So if you have any brand designed pictures for me, so go ahead and after you've done your project, take a picture of it. If you want to send it to me, you can send it to me through Remind, or you can send it to my email address. That's up to you. But I can't wait to see them. I hope you share those with me, and I hope you had fun today. All right, I will see you next time. I can't wait to see your brands. Bye!